why isn't poetry on the big stage? You know, why don't poets? Why aren't poets being listened to along with politicians? You know, is a very good question. I think that what's going on now is that poetry is getting back into into the civilization, into the culture, into the ears of the citizenry. You know, it's only been 12 years or so that the United States has had a poet laureate. It's interesting to see that the Nobel Prize winning poets that I've known in this country have all been born in other countries. Czesław Miłosz in Lithuania and Poland, and Derek Walcott in St. Lucia, and Joseph Brodsky in Russia. You know, it seems to be that the freedoms that we have in this country attract poets, but the subtle manipulation of the media that controls things keeps the hot language of poetry out of the national dialogue.
Do you think that the Baraka debacle added to that? I mean, do you think that people were starting to do stuff and then that whole thing with his poem sort of...
I think it's really interesting right now to see in Richard Clarke's book that a lot of the things that Baraka's poem was talking about are now who is exactly what Richard Clarke is saying as he says that the White House was spending time trying to find a connection with Iraq rather than going after Al-Qaeda after 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, and that was Baraka's point, basically, or one of his points in this poem. Now, I think that Baraka being selected Poet Laureate of Newark is a great and historic moment. I think that the legislature of New Jersey deciding that they wanted to can him and realizing that the only way that they were going to do that was to eliminate the position.
Right.
Shows the kind of a surreal absurdity that this country is engaged in.
To reconnect literature with how we live. For a lot of people, it is disconnected from. There's some sort of ivory tower in which the poet lives, in which the writer lives in people's imaginations, and I think in work that is vital, that isn't the case. And the hope is that phatLiterature will help to make that reconnection, to recognize that literature, artists are making choices that are in fact political. Don't believe Barbara Bush. Poetry has everything to do with politics. It has everything to do with how we live in this grimy day-to-day world and in the glorious day-to-day world. So my hope is that phatLiterature is that kind of bullet train that, you know, connects the points.
I'm just delighted. This program is fantastic. It's such a great idea, and it's needed. We need this
Thank you
program.
for the endorsement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the endorsement. That means a lot to both of us.